This is the MHS Pawdcast, the online radio voice of Metuchen High School.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
Big day today after the school announcements. I'll first be joined by longtime broadcaster, teacher, speaker, and high school sports reporter in the tri-state area, Mike Quick, to discuss his career and his tips for high school students. Then Josh and I will look into the top activities in Middlesex County. But before all that, here are the announcements from Josh Hyman.
The MHS Spring Musical is this week. The Metuchen Footlighters performances of The Wedding Singer are Thursday, March 28th, Friday the 29th, and Saturday the 30th, all at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Tickets can be purchased at the door. Wednesday night, April 3rd at 7 p.m. is the induction ceremony for the MHS Art Honor Society, followed by the Art Festival. We would like to congratulate all those being inducted. Friday, April 5th is the end of the third marking cycle. ACT testing will be taking place at Metuchen High School on Saturday morning, April 13th at 8 a.m. Attention to all 9th grade parents, check out the Metuchen High School website to learn more about the hashtag #NotEvenOnce, a new interactive high school opiate awareness program that your children were introduced to last week in an assembly. The ultimate goal of the program is to educate students about opiate abuse and give them the tools they need to make better decisions. Lastly, with the spring sports season just days away, follow the MHS Pawdcast on Twitter to see which events we'll be covering this spring. And that's all for announcements.
Thank you, Josh. Continuing here on the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS, I'm Kalegi. Our next guest has covered high school sports in the tri-state area for years and is also a broadcasting teacher. It is a pleasure to be joined by Mike Quick. Welcome to the show.
Daddy, it's great to be here, man, being on this show with you, one of my favorite students of all time. I'm so excited. I've listened to some of your shows. You're doing a great job, buddy. Very proud of you.
Thank you. So first, let's talk a little bit about the start of your career. When did you first realize that you had an interest in sports media? What was it that drew you to the field?
Fourth grade, I got in trouble. I was talking in my elementary school up in Brookside School, Norwalk, Connecticut, and my teacher, Mr. Fontaine, because I was talking about Dr. J, who's like the LeBron James of my time, and I was talking during class, and she said, Mr. Quick, if you're going to disrupt my class and talk about sports, why don't you just become a sportscaster? And I said, okay, Mr. Fontaine, that's what I'll do. And since fourth grade, I knew what I wanted to do. I always said I had the second greatest job in the world, and I'm a pretty competitive guy, but I would take a back seat for a high school coach any day of the week. I think high school coaches have the greatest job in the world, and I was lucky enough to be able to cover them for 33 years. It was a wonderful job. I loved every second of it.
That sounds very fun. So what has your career covering high school sports entailed, all the different parts of it? What has been the most enjoyable aspect about covering high school sports?
Getting to see kids. You know what? I take that back. When I started doing this in New York, Eddie, everybody told me it would never work. People aren't going to care. People aren't going to care about high school sports in New York. And I'm like, you're crazy. I said, look at this tri-state area. I know we have more pro sports teams than anywhere, but we also have more high school athletes than anywhere. And what we did, in the beginning, we were covering too many sports, because if you try to cover everything, especially in high school in this area, because you can't fool people. So what we tried to do was, in the beginning, was cover everything. And then about 3 years in, it's like, wait a minute. In order for this to work, we got to focus on certain sports. So I did football and basketball, and then we introduced girls basketball. And then in 2006, we introduced lacrosse. And I'm a baseball guy, so it broke my heart. But baseball is so hard to cover on the high school level with single cameras. So that's how we got started, and it was, it's made a difference. I often wonder, did people care? And you run into kids that you covered now that are in their late 30s, 40s, and 50s, and like, oh my God, there was nothing like being on the show on MSG Network. So that's a really cool thing. So it's been a blast, buddy. It really is.
Yeah, having the opportunity for these students to showcase themselves on television, definitely exciting. Now, I want to ask you, because you just brought it up, it's unique. Everybody always thinks of football, basketball, baseball, but also you guys have covered lacrosse in depth. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Well, actually, it started as a challenge, believe it or not. We had to sell our own advertising starting in 2004 to keep the high school shows and the games on the air. And in late 2005, there was an article in Sports Illustrated about lacrosse being the hottest sport, the fastest-growing sport. And Eric Gelfand, who was the public relations director for MSG Network at that point, now he's the PR director for the New York Jets, he challenged me and he said, hey, if you sold football and basketball and brought that back, let me see if you can sell lacrosse. I said, I'll have us a show in the air by next year. And we did. We had an style wax report, and it just took off. Because buddy, in this area, Long Island, New Jersey, Fairfield County, Connecticut, lacrosse is huge. A much smaller audience than football and basketball, but a very passionate audience. And that thing just took off like wildflower when we started it.
Yep, definitely a growing sport here in the tri-state area. So for more than a decade, you have taught the Veterans Sports Broadcasting Camp, most recently in Bruce Beck's camp, which will be moving to Iona University this year. How did that opportunity come about, and what do you enjoy about getting to teach prospective media students more about the profession?
Well, Eddie, it came about 17 years ago, and 18 years ago, Bruce and Ian did their first ever camp at Montclair State. And after they did it the first year, there was a number of kids, about 15 kids, that, what do we do next year? And Bruce and I are like, what do you mean, what do we do next year? And they're like, well, we want to come back and take it again next year. And they sat down and talked, and they're like, well, we've got to give them something different the following year. We can't give them the same thing. And Bruce said to Ian, I know the guy who should teach this. So Bruce called me, and I said, wow, I'd be honored. I said, Bruce, but if they're advanced campers, we're going to teach this for you. He goes, okay. And you know me, Eddie, you've had me. I'm a very passionate guy. I think I'm a coach. I don't think I'm a broadcaster.
Yes.
I think I teach good life skills. And Bruce is like, okay, great. And then he called me back 2 minutes later. He goes, well, hold on a second here. You're a little different, and you can be intense. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what they need, because at this age, their parents are paying a lot of money for these camps, and my job, I look at it two ways for the kids. Either keep them on the track to get them to really, wow, is this what it's like? Or sometimes, more importantly, get them off the track if this is something that they don't think they can handle when they went to college. Because you know this, right?
Yep.
My thing, you better never be on time. You better be early. And you guys have all bought into that, and most of the campers through the years. And it's funny, I've come to find the ones, Eddie, that go on to college and don't do it were the kids that came to class late all the time. How about that?
Yep, absolutely. Learning dedication from such a young age, if you want to go into a field like this, is imperative, and your teaching style allows that to happen, and for high schoolers to really realize how intense this is and how dedicated they must be to attain their goals in this profession.
Well, buddy, if you think about it, what we do in a week in college, if you're majoring in communications or media studies, there's a good chance you won't get to in your first year. Forget your first semester, what we do in a week. We jam a lot in there.
Yeah.
That's why the whole time thing and everything. And I'll tell you, bud, when I watch you guys do it, I always think that first day, man, how is this ever going to work? How is it going to come together? And you guys wow me every year. And I'll tell you, when I leave on Friday, I am on top of the world. I am on top of the world. So it is, you guys you make me feel young, man. You really do. It's because I see how much you want it and how much you put into it, And not just you. I would say 95% of the kids that we've ever had in the classes now in the 17th year, they really wanted it. And we have a great success rate of kids going on, doing well in college, doing well professionally. We have a lot of alums out there in the world of sports media right now. It's truly amazing to see.
Yep, absolutely. So one last thing I wanted to touch on. I've asked former NASCAR President Brent DeWar and Orlando Magic founder Pat Williams this question, so I'll give it to you as well. What are some tips you have for high schoolers in order to be ready for college and the workforce to help them attain the goals they desire?
Eddie, it's simple, and I say this to wherever I go, and it's not just high school kids now. It's the population in general. Stop texting, stop tweeting, talk to people, get to know people, how to understand how to work with people, because you know this, a text, an email, you can't read tone, and the only way you're ever going to be able to develop tone kids by talking to people, and I say all the time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yep.
And for a broadcaster, you better make sure that you're doing more than typing and tweeting. You better be talking. And that's what I've always loved about so many of the campers. You guys are talkative kids. So that's my biggest thing. And for somebody my age or older, they're probably like, what are you talking about? And then they're like, he's right. People don't talk anymore. So that's my biggest thing. You want to get somewhere faster than the next guy, get to know the person next to you. Get to know your teacher. Just talk to people. Talk to people. So that would be my biggest thing, Eddie, for young people. Just communicate. Stop doing it with your fingers and do it, talk to them. Talk to them.
Definitely, because I notice in this generation, you go into a restaurant, for example, you'll look around, everyone is just looking at their phones and not communicating face-to-face. And I'd also like to touch on, if you're not communicating with people, how is that going to prepare you for the workforce, for job interviews where you have to talk face-to-face?
But when you guys come into that class, put your phones down. Don't play around with your phones.
Yep.
Don't want to see it. Mm-hmm. And I think it works. I mean, look at you. Look at all the people that you've been able to get on your show from Metuchen High School because you reach out to them and you talk to them and you converse. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're the perfect example of what a young kid should be doing. That's why you're going to be successful for a long, long time, buddy. You'll be doing an interview with somebody like you as me 30 years from now when they bring you back and say, hey, you meant something to me, did you come on a show? Because you get it. You really do. You're an old soul, Eddie. You get it, man. You do. You really do.
Well, thanks a lot, Mike. That's about all the time we have. Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us here on the Metuchen High School Podcast.
I'll see you at camp, buddy.
Alright, so when we come back, Josh and I will be looking into the top activities in Middlesex County with spring and summer on the way. We'll be back after this commercial break. This is the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS.
Having trouble seeing the board in class? Do you need safety glasses for your school sport? If you answered yes to either of these questions, head over to Optique Unique, the eyeglass store at 406 Main Street in Metuchen. Optique Unique does it all. Not only do they offer eyewear for all ages, they also sell sports-specific safety glasses for kids and adults. Call them at 732-321-2020. That's 732-321-2020, or visit OptiqueUnique.com. Do you want to build character, build confidence, or even build yourself? All that and more can be accomplished at the Black Belt Institute at 23 New Street, right here in Metuchen. Students of all ages have been able to learn respect, discipline, fitness, and self-defense from their experienced instructors for over 20 years. Whether you're an adult looking for stress reduction or know someone young who has interest in Taekwondo, the Black Belt Institute is the place to go. The Institute takes a fun approach at teaching the rules of self-defense, instilling in their students an I-can-do-it attitude. Interested in taking a class? Call them at 732-205-9797 or visit their website at blackbeltinst.com. Once again, that's 732-205-9797 or blackbeltinst.com. The Black Belt Institute, Metuchen's leader in martial arts and fitness. The MHS Pawdcast is also sponsored by Allstate Insurance at 63 Pearl Street in Metuchen. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
With spring's arrival and spring break not too far away, you and your family might be looking for things to do. You may think you have to travel, but there are lots of hidden gems right here in Middlesex County. So thanks to NJ1015.com, we'll be going through the top activities in Middlesex County. So once again, as always, there is a link in the description if you want to read the article for yourself. So I thought some of these were pretty interesting, and the first thing they list is something so close to us that a lot of people don't even realize, the Thomas Edison Center. The article says that families can come out to the Thomas Edison Center in Edison to partake in a day of history and learn about one of the greatest inventors in American history for only $5. It's cheap, it's only 10 minutes away, it's really a cool place to go. Have you ever been there before?
I have not been there, and I think that's something that a lot of people, especially in Metuchen, take for granted, is that we live so close to an important part of American history that is Thomas Edison in Edison, New Jersey. And I think if you live near here, I think you should go at least once. It seems really cool, and it's only $5, so it seems like a cool idea.
So something else that it lists is the Fields Sports Complex. This is in East Brunswick, New Jersey. It offers a state-of-the-art indoor sports complex that is perfect for soccer, lacrosse, and flag football. It's open every day. Friends can come and have a blast playing the sport of their choice year-round. So there's a lot of information here and a link to the website. This is something cool that you can go to if you want to play a sport. It sounds like a fun opportunity.
Yeah, I think it seems cool. Indoor sports complexes are always pretty cool. They're always pretty fun. So, if you have the time, go check it out. Might be really interesting.
So something else that is so close to us is the Roosevelt State Park. It's off of Route 1 in Edison Township. It's the perfect place for families and friends to spend a day outside. Tennis courts, basketball courts, fishing, biking, and more. Everyone is surely to have a brilliant time. It's funny how this county is big. There are a lot of towns. Anybody who plays sports, in the GMC, how many different towns and schools there are. But a lot of these things are so close to us in Edison. We talked about the Thomas Edison Center and now Roosevelt State Park. Roosevelt Park is so big. I was always, as a young child, just impressed by just the scale of how big and how many different things you can do. They've got plays in the park. Of course, they mentioned the tennis courts and the basketball courts.
Yeah, Roosevelt Park is really nice. It's really big. There's arena soccer, there's fishing, there's all that stuff. There's ice skating in the winter. Mm-hmm. It's really cool to just go hang out with your friends, meet up. It's really nice. It's close to a mall. And, state parks as a whole are really cool to just go and have a really nice day in the park if you want to, if the weather's nice.
So something else that I've actually been to before, the Stone Museum. If geology is your niche, then the Stone Museum in Jamesburg, New Jersey is the place for you. Visitors can experience free hands-on learning with the interactive mineral and fossil displays. I remember going there. It's a very cool place. Just so many different really shiny things if you're into that. I remember they had a bunch of shark teeth there as well. It's a cool place, and once again, a hidden gem right here in New Jersey.
Yeah, I went too, and they have some really cool stuff. They have fossils from ammonites and other ancient extinct species. I think they got a mummy there. That was really cool to see because mummies are kind of cool. You don't really get to see that every day. So if you want to see something really interesting with geology and science, go there.
Mm-hmm. One last thing I wanted to touch on. There are other topics that you can look at if you click the link. The Cornucopia Cruise. Couples will love a night of dinner, drinks, and dancing while sailing along the beautiful waters of New Jersey at Cornucopia Cruise in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Perth Amboy is always overlooked for whatever reason, but this is a very nice waterway that is so close. Really gives you that feel of almost like a tropical feel or being like in New England. Going on the water, and you get to go on the Hudson River with this cruise. I've always liked Perth Amboy. What about you?
I mean, I don't really go there that much, but this looks pretty interesting. I think people should definitely check this out. Maybe give Perth Amboy a chance, like you said. Mm-hmm. Maybe even I'll give Perth Amboy a chance now because I did not know about really any of this stuff before I checked this list. So maybe it's worth checking out.
Well, that's about all the time we have. Once again, the link is in the description. A thank you to our guest, Mike Quick. I'm Eddie Kalegi.
And I'm Josh Hyman.
And this is the Metuchen High School Podcast, the online radio voice of MHS. We'll see you next time.